A little bit of a greasy game that a few people are talking about, but it's not making national headlines. Let's talk Washington State, Boise State. 9 p.m. kick. Ashton Jeanty on the field looking to just explode like he's done in every game this year so far. And then on the other side, you got a Washington State team that sits 4-0, survived a scare from San Jose State last year. This one's at FS1. Boise State's a 7.5-point favorite. JP, give us your thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, these are two really good rush offenses against two really bad rush defenses, or so it seems right now for Boise State, right? Like hasn't quite been up to par that we thought they would be. John Mateer here for Washington State is fun to watch. He does not throw the ball very well, 54% completion percentage right now, but he extends plays like no other. He'll look to run once he gets out of the pocket, and he's been very, very good at it, right? So there's something to pay attention to there. Jeanty's 9.6 yards a carry. That does not bode well for a Wazzou team who has not stopped the run very well. And this kid literally get the ball between the tackles. It ain't going to matter. Get him on the edge. It ain't going to matter. That's the tough part here for Washington State. But if you're Washington State, I mean, I think you're like, hey, we can play in any game. Doesn't matter where we're at. Doesn't matter the line. Doesn't matter who we're playing. We're feeling comfortable and confident. And I think Boise State's like, okay, time to bow up a little bit. We've been scared a couple of times. We got close with Oregon. We're playing with confidence too. Let's go beat another team who we think a lot of people put as a step above us. So it should be a ton of fun, high scoring, high flying on the blue, no less.
When I look at this matchup, I look at one thing, and that's the backfield in Boise State. Because you have Ashton Jeanty. Everybody hears about him. He's in the Heisman race. He's up there in talks. His stats are off the charts. But how about last week? You find a guy in Dylan Riley who seems to be another diamond in the rough. 6 carries for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Granted, it's garbage time against a not very good opponent. But those are 2 viable options against a team that JP just told you doesn't defend the run well. So hand the ball off 65 times. Control the clock. Keep tearing that offense off the field, and you're not asking too much of Madsen. You throw the ball 13 to 15 times, just be consistent with it, and he's been like that all year long. So I really like this spot. I think Boise State and their fan base knows how important this game is at home, especially with them being the front runner or one of the front runners to get that G5 bid. You compete with Oregon on the road. Memphis loses last week. You got all the hype in the world going around to make the playoff. They need this one at home. I think they understand the spot and they get it. So I like Boise State on that side of things. Jake.
Yeah, unlike the game in Tuscaloosa, this game actually has real playoff implications on it, on the line, doesn't it? I mean, it is kind of funny to say, but it really does. This is basically looking at Washington State's schedule. I mean, this is kind of the last one they have to take care of for them to run the table and go 12-0. They play at Oregon State at the end of the year, but the rest of the schedule is pretty manageable. They have at Fresno after this one. I shouldn't dismiss that game either, but this feels like the toughest opponent on their schedule that's left. You talked about it, Parks. Like Madsen doesn't need to be spectacular. He just needs to complete probably 13 to 15 throws. I just think he's got to be good enough, and you can't ask him to throw the ball 25 to 30 times like you did in the Oregon game, because just give the ball to your best player. Like if it's working, you have to give him the ball. You look at Wazzou, their 83rd in rush defense. We mentioned it before. That could be a weak link on this defense. But that being said, I think Washington State has the better quarterback on the field on Saturday. So I think that gives them a chance.
All right. Reese, give us your thoughts, and then we will go roundtable style.
You know, the Washington State, nobody had a lot of faith in this team, and they come out the year playing hot. You know, that kind of environment is contagious. So I think I like him in this spot going on the road. You know, they're going to go there. They're going to be fired. Like you talk about, like this is a big game on their schedule. If you can go in there to Boise State and win, like, you know, this is a name that everybody knows in the college football realm too. So if you can go in there and kind of spoil that season, and especially going up against a dude who's a Heisman caliber running back in Ashton Jeanty, I think Wazzou is, I mean, like I said, I wasn't high on this team in the beginning of the year, but they proved me wrong. I don't know if they'll win this ball game. I wouldn't be shocked if they would, but I think they can still go in there and cover this number.
Front runner for the Pac-2 title, the Washington State Cougars. JP, you got them winning this matchup, or you got Boise State covering and winning?
I think there's just too much. There's so much. I mean, you're sitting every week in a close one, really battling your ass off if you're Wazzou, and now you get a rested team at home. I just think the schedule and how stressful these games are going to play against Washington State here. I'll take Boise State, and I think they cover just based on the spot here.
Jake.
I'm taking the better quarterback. I'm taking Washington State to cover. I agree. Their defense isn't it hasn't shown the ability to really stop anybody right now, but you created a lot of turnovers against a good Texas Tech offense. It's going to have to be the same thing here, especially on the road. So give me the Cougars to cover.
All right. I will flip the page. Give me Boise State to cover at home. I really like them in this spot. I think they understand the spot, like I said, but just the run game's too much. I do think it's going to be high scoring. Washington State will get theirs because we've also seen a bad side of Boise State's defense against Georgia Southern. So obviously they have holes in it. Washington State will find them. But I think just in the situation that it is, I love Boise State and how they're coached and how they've been playing. They understand that they have a lot of capability to make that spot within the playoff, and this game means a ton for it. So give me Boise State to win and cover at home, Reese.
I'm going to go Boise State to win this ball game. I'll take them 28, but I'm going to go Wazzou 24.
All right. Okay. So close matchup there. So we have 2 on JP. You took Boise State, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So 2-2 split again. Interesting in week 5. We're getting a little bit more splits, not as much rescuing each other, which I love. But all right, that is all the week 5 previews.